Take dos, recording. Let's do it.
So this is when I look at the camera.
Okay, so now we're looking at the camera. What's up?
Was it recording on there?
Intro song, go.
That was perfect, guys. That was perfect. All right, welcome to Lunchbox Cinema, the show that is long enough to share our opinions and short enough to listen to on your lunch break. We are here to talk about movies, TV shows, and probably anything dealing with entertainment or movies or anything like that. I'm joined with my buddy Frankie, and I'm joined with our buddy Victor as well. We're here to talk about the movie Predestination. Little backstory on the movie. This is in my top 10 movies of all time. And I've, if I could describe it to anyone in like a sentence, it's, for me, one of the best movies that no one's ever heard about. I'm sure everyone has their opinions on what that movie is. This one is that for me. And so we spent some time watching the trailer before we got into this review. And what we're doing right now is we're just spending some time to kind of like, what is it? Pre-game the movie?
Sure.
So, yeah. Sounded like
it's an appetizer.
it's an appetizer. So they haven't seen the movie yet. Victor and Frankie haven't seen the movie yet, and so we're just kind of talking about our thoughts before the movie because a lot of our thoughts were very negative, if I should say, when I showed you the trailer. What were your thoughts when you first saw the trailer?
They were very negative. It sucked. It was a crappy trailer. So it's basically this. I'm gonna explain the movie right now. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm explaining what the movie is. If you've seen Looper and if you've seen Gemini Man,
Which he hasn't seen either of those.
and if
movies.
you've seen In Time, I've watched it In Time because it's a phenomenal movie, and Lucy's gonna argue with me. But if you watch those three movies, I'm assuming that's what this one is. But yeah, that's what I got from the trailer.
It sort of reminds me of Inception and Minority Report, where it's mind-bending like Inception, but it's also talking about crime and like stopping crime in the future or stopping it from ever happening, like Minority Report.
Yeah. I agree that so when I first saw this trailer, the movie came out in 2014. When I first saw this trailer, I was immediately intrigued by the movie. I think now it's because I just have a thing for time travel movies. They're always like, I love that genre.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's from 2005.
Yeah, it's, I was hooked on the movie right away. And then I rewatched the trailer with you guys and I was like, oh, this trailer does suck. And I especially like those parts where they show like the cheesy where it's like starring Ethan Hawke and it's like shows his face and like the thing in slow motion and whatnot.
Yeah, we'll insert
like,
clip right here.
Everything about the trailer does seem like it came from like an early 2000s movie. But I will also say that I think the trailer does a disservice for the movie because it's almost because the movie is impossible to explain to someone without spoiling it. And how I've explained it to people in the past was basically the first 5 minutes of the movie tells you of how important the movie is. And then the next 40 minutes of the movie, ignore the first 5 minutes. And then after that, it kind of like every 5 minutes, they give you a reveal of why that 40 minutes was so important. So it's kind of like, it's a weird movie to explain. I can't go past that because then I'll actually be kind of ruining the movie for you guys. Yeah. But like it's odd because the Rotten Tomatoes show that it has an 84% critic rating and a 75% fan rating. But
which is good scores.
They're really good scores. But to put that in perspective, it only released in 20 theaters. Mm. So
Wait,
the movie,
really?
Yeah, it only released in 20 theaters. It was one of those like straight to demand movies. So it released in 20.
Now I'm skeptical.
Yeah, now you're skeptical, but I'm telling you this. Like, also look at the Rotten Tomato scores.
Only 5 people have watched it.
Yeah. Well, let's look.
Luis watched it.
So okay, the fresh rating that it has on Rotten Tomato is from 112 reviews from critics, and then it has over 10,000 reviews for audiences. So that's technically better reviews than Avatar. Avatar is about in that same window. Avatar: Way of Water.
But how many people have reviewed Avatar versus how many people have reviewed?
Well, let's look at this right now.
And then I want you to look up the Rotten Tomatoes for In Time, and I want you to see that it was a great movie.
Okay, so 418 people reviewed Rotten Tomatoes. So
that's 4 times.
Four times more.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Basic math,
And then
people.
I think it was also released in more theaters too.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
released in 4,000 theaters. So
Not just 4.
that kind of In Time. I want to.
Please look up In Time and tell me that it is better rated than this whatever Prometheus movie we're about to watch.
It has a 37% critic rating.
Okay, look.
Out
you
of
can't listen to the
174
media, all right?
reviews,
they're
and a
manipulating our minds.
51% audience rating. So with that being said, we're about to get into a better movie, Predestination. We'll come back and give you our thoughts afterwards. So stay tuned and check it out.
What if I could put him in front of you? The man that ruined your life. Would you kill him?
All right, we're back. We just finished watching the movie. Again, I want to reiterate, this is in my top 10 of all time.
You said earlier you had a caveat. My top 10 that people have never heard. Are you saying top 10 of all time?
This is in my top 10 of all time, and I give this movie like a spot in my top 10 because I've seen it so many times, and every time I enjoy watching it with people. There's a few other movies that are like that. Inception, Whiplash, like The Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. Love those. And then this movie. Like, I've seen this movie probably 10 times because I love seeing well, I have a video. We're going to show it probably right after I say this. But Frankie's response to this movie during the big reveals is hilarious.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, my God!
Are you lost?
Yeah, it is in my top 10. It's probably the one movie that no one's ever heard about, if that makes sense. That's the caveat I gave it.
Yeah. I was definitely left speechless at the end. Like it's a movie where I got to the end of it and I was like, I could not. It took all my reactions away. Like I felt everything throughout it, and then I got to the end realizing what had happened, and you're just left like
empty.
Yeah,
It's just like empty.
like what just happened? Like you don't realize. I did not expect that roller coaster to happen throughout this hour and 40 that we did.
And what would you say to like my description? Because like, okay, and we won't spoil anything yet. We'll get to that in a second. But I kind of like was trying to explain this movie to you guys, but like I couldn't. Being on the same side as me now, where it's like you've seen the movie and you know everything about it. Would you say that that's understandable? How would you maybe explain the movie? I don't know.
I totally agree. Like you can't give anything away, or else you give everything away.
Yeah.
Even the trailer, if you watch it too many times, might give something away. Or if you read the synopsis or the Wikipedia page, it might give something away. So it is really hard to try and explain. Other than it's a Ethan Hawke time traveling crime drama.
Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting going into it, but I for some reason I thought we were going to be in space, and for some reason I thought there was going to be a lot more.
We were
time
in
travel,
spaces for sure,
and I definitely didn't expect there to. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but there's like there's just so many things. It was not what I expected at all.
So right now you're looking at the audience, and we know for a fact that. Basically, all the 3 people who are going to listen to the show,
I'm on.
probably us 3. They've never seen this movie. Okay,
They're probably not gonna.
they're probably not gonna.
Don't
But
watch this
if
movie.
you could explain this to our viewer, okay, how would you, both of you, describe this movie?
Basically, Ethan Hawke is the main character, and he is serving as a time traveling cop trying to prevent massive terrorist attack from happening, and this is all based like in the 80s or something like that.
Yeah, that's probably the only way, because like that's maybe 10% of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
That's the only, like,
That
if I say
scratches the
that,
surface.
you might just like be like, oh, where's this movie? And then you watch the movie and you're like, that's not what Victor just said. But like, in fact, that is exactly what he just said.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all of it and none of it.
What are your thoughts then on my original description of the first 5 minutes engages you in this time travel plot, then the next 40 minutes completely ignores it, and then the rest of the movie like systematically tells you about how important that 40 minutes was to the plot. Because you guys were even saying as we were watching it, like, why do we care about this person's story?
Well, that's 100% accurate. That whole 40-minute chunk of time when Ethan Hawke is talking to the unmarried mother
Sarah
character.
Snook. I think her name is Sarah Snook or
Sarah
Nook.
Snook, yeah. That 40 minutes, me and Frankie were like, what is the point of this whole 40-minute chunk of time? Where's the action? Where's the time travel?
Yeah, it was really paced like they were about to do like 20 seasons. Like the first so it like fast paced, super quick, like the first 5 minutes, like you said. But then you get put into this 40 minutes of drawn out, like, okay, we're in a bar. And now we're trying to figure out what's going on, and she's pouring drinks, and it's just so many things. So you're like really trying to figure out, okay, where is this going? Why are they taking forever? And then we even got to a point in those 40 minutes where like they're gonna rush the ending, and it's gonna suck.
And do you feel like it was rushed?
I feel like it was sort of necessary that it was that.
It was
pace.
fast paced, but I
Yeah.
don't think it was. Again, I don't think it was like out of character for the way the movie was going. Like I thought it like ended the way it should have ended. I guess I didn't know how the pacing of they paced themselves so slowly at the beginning, but then they did a really good job.
I think to your point, like it was the first 5 minutes are very punchy, and even Jeanette said like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm engaged. I'm actually like I'm ready." And then the next 40 minutes happen, and it's kind of like a I don't want to say like a Debbie Downer, but it does slow down the movie.
It does. It breaks it
and you're
down.
like, oh, are we
Yeah.
watching like a drama?
Yeah.
But then it picks back up once that moment hits, and we're like using very specific words here because like it's so easy to kind of give that away. But like,
Yeah, because it starts and it's like high expectations. Okay, there's a bomb, and now there's explosions, and then boom, guy's got no face. He looks like Deadpool. Shout out to Ryan Reynolds. And now he's like in this whole nother thing, and then you're like 5 minutes right here. You're right here, and then it's like, it's like all slowed down. We're broken down. We're in this like, it's totally like, it just changed genres so quickly. And it's not that I didn't like it. It was just like my brain had this expectation from those 5 minutes. Okay, this is where this movie's going to be and how it's going to be paced. So now you're like, oh, okay, no, I got to settle in. And you're almost waiting the first like 10, 15 of like, okay, when does this jump into the next thing?
Yeah.
And it never does. So then you're like, okay, I got to sit in this. And it's almost like a little weird and awkward, but yeah.
normally I would say like that type of storytelling wouldn't work because it doesn't, but like for some reason with this story and the way this played out, it was almost necessary because like when you get to that point when everything shifts and they start like punching you with all the facts, you're kind of like you literally, your reaction was literally screaming at the TV because it had that like the slow burn of where are we going?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Where are we going? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God. All right. Any other comments before we get into our 6 words?
No.
I'll probably save it till the end.
Okay. All right. Before we get into the spoiler section, we're going to do this thing where we're going to summarize the movie in around 6 to 7 words. Without spoiling it, which is for this movie really hard. Whoever wants to go first, go for it.
I've been thinking about it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, go for it.
So it's a quote. I'm probably paraphrasing it, but Ethan Hawke says it in the beginning of the movie, and I think it summarizes the whole movie, where he says, "My mother will hardly recognize me."
Okay, it's like 7.5. Cheater,
That's really good.
Do you want to go?
Okay, mine was just easy.
Okay.
Someone had to think about this. I said that, and then you actually said that in the middle of the movie. I was like, yeah, that's funny. That's my 6 words.
Yeah, someone did have to think about this, and it was something where it's like it's so out there. I did not like expect any like they just threw stuff out there and like put a movie together, and like they shouldn't have stuck, and it shouldn't have made it to production, but it did, and it was in 5 theaters, and it got a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes for some stupid reason.
It wasn't 98.
But
It was the 84.
All right, whatever.
84,
In Time was still better.
75
But,
audience.
Okay, here are my 6 words. Ready? They are Umbrella Academy, Looper, Oh yeah, Umbrella Academy's 2. Okay, so we're 3
Which he
in.
hasn't even seen Looper.
I haven't seen Looper. Another word. We'll go this way. Another word is what's the Will Smith one?
Gemini Man.
Gemini-
which you
Gemini
also haven't
Man.
seen and has no comparison.
All right, I got one more word.
I am legend.
That's 3. I'm not gonna.
Oh
use
wait. Explain that. That makes no sense to our viewers.
What did we use? I am a legend. I think we
We
were
were
just trying.
confusing Gemini Man with
I am legend.
Oh no, I got the last word. Prometheus.
That's
Okay, that's the. No, here are my actual 6 words. It was weird, engaging, and I couldn't look away.
I'm shocked you didn't put traumatizing in there.
I think it was a little traumatizing.
No!
A little bit looking back.
Mind you, this is not a horror movie.
I just there was so much going on, and some of the stuff literally grossed me out. Where it was like I felt like ill, But it was like I just couldn't look away. I guess those are the words that I would use. I couldn't look away.
All right. So if you are not into spoilers and you want to watch this movie, save this for later. Come back to it and see our in-depth responses. We're about to get into that now. Spoiler warning has been lifted. Go for it. What do you think?
I did not expect the main character to fall in love with themselves, to then have a baby with themselves, to then them be the baby.
kidnapping themselves.
Kidnapping themselves and then being the baby, and then the narrator that's helping them walk through all this is also themselves that help them meet themselves to do themselves.
Correct.
I was not expecting that. Okay, this movie is chugging along. Okay, you're sick. Like it's a story. We're at a bar. She's trying to figure out cool. This story. She was an orphan, and you make a hard left turn, and you are really just like. I was going with it, and I wasn't just me. Jeanette also was like, I feel like this just like hard left, And in the moment when they do that left turn, it like takes you out of it. But looking at overview, like big
Hindsight.
bird's eye view, is like you're like, okay, they needed that for the ending. It sounds outrageous, but that's what this movie is.
Okay, wait.
And it's in Luis's top 10. It's in Luis's top 10.
It is in my. Let me explain why it's in my top 10. Because it's like someone mentioned it before. Like someone had to think about this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I mentioned it, but Frankie's the one who mentioned it on the couch.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you sit down, you're like, this is ridiculous. And at the same time, you're like, this is actually kind of genius. And the whole time I'm screaming at the TV. Like every time I watch this movie, it's just a fun time because everyone is talking about it in the group that I watch it with. And I'm probably the only person who shows this movie to anyone now. But like, that's what I like. I've seen this movie at least 10 times with 10 different people. And it's like, every time I watch it, it's the same. Like literally, I pulled my phone out at all the parts because like I knew you guys were gonna give a response.
But I see the appeal in seeing this movie with other people, knowing how outlandish this movie is.
Yeah.
Knowing that they're gonna react, and I'm very curious to how, because people are gonna react differently.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to sit down with that view of like I know what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna wait for the reaction to see what they do.
Exactly.
And that's why I love it because I get to experience the movie again through the other people and also just laugh at them as they cringe.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to this. Okay, I wrote these down because throughout the movie, like this is what I mean by like the movie gives you it tells you the whole story throughout the movie in your face without like actually telling you. So like, listen to these quotes real quick. Well, some of them were your quotes, but like, the girl, the Sarah, her before she's him,
Yeah.
they're in the bar and she calls him a son of a bee, and he responds, "That's funny."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a part in the movie where they time travel and he puts her glasses on to walk away. Because he can't remember. They say in that one part of the movie, like she had contacts.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then like he puts her glasses on,
So he
but it's
can
like so in your face. And if you're not paying attention to that stuff, it's like And here's the thing, no one is. So the movie, like I wasn't paying attention the first time I saw it. So like you're legit kind of like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. And then he at the very end, he goes back into the bar and he picks up the bottle that
Yes.
she won.
Okay, I did notice that.
You did?
And I was
Okay.
like, I was wondering, why did he take... And I think around that point in the movie is when I was starting to pick up, okay, I think this guy's also the girl. And like, yeah.
Which actually, side note, you actually picked it up way before that, but you threw it out like you were like, "Oh my gosh, Ethan Hawke is the girl."
Yeah.
But it was almost like you said at a point where like that's so outlandish, and we weren't at that point of the movie yet, so everyone was kind of like, "Ha ha," and I kind of made a joke to draw you away from it.
I definitely, yeah, that's why I stopped thinking that. And it was good that you said that because I would have been stuck on that point for the rest of it.
I picked it up pretty early on. I didn't want to say anything because like I didn't want to ruin the ending. But like at the beginning, narratively, when Ethan Hawke was in the fire accident, and then
The first 5 minutes you knew?
You did.
like
You knew in the first 5 minutes.
like because when they
That's
were
pretty
in the,
impressive.
when they were in the hospital, they were explaining, oh, your vocal cords aren't going to be the same. You're not going to sound the same. You're not going
Yeah.
to look the same. So I knew narratively that when he was normal, like that's not what Ethan Hawke normally looks like. It looks like
Yeah.
somebody else.
And
so
that,
I'm like,
that's another thing that like they give you in that first 5 minutes, and they distract you by creating another 40 minutes of like, where are we going with this?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's not normal storytelling, but I feel like it's genius in that regard.
Yeah.
What about this quote? The snake that eats his own tail. Did you guys pick up on that?
Yeah, this whole movie was like paradoxes and things that just end in an endless cycle. And I feel like,
they need to happen to.
yeah, that this can't happen without this happening. So that means that this person needs to do this. And it becomes this paradox of things like just endlessly happening. And like the big point in the movie is when he uses, what was he said, predestined paradox or predestined.
Predestined paradox.
Is what he used to describe him. Like, you're a predestined paradox. And it was something where it was like, dang, like just thinking of like that, like endless cycle of time travel and how like he needs to do this so this could happen, so that could happen, so that baby can. It's just a whole crazy mess. But
Sorry, I'm reading some of these. These are some of the things I wrote down that you guys are saying about the movie. Tell me your
Apologies.
responses when you hear it. The first one was Victor said, "Good aim, good aim."
so there's a shot in the movie, okay? It's literally just the dude peeing.
I think for the listener, it'd be good to give names to characters. So you have Ethan Hawke's character, who's like the violin man. He's the
These are all the
detective.
same person, by
Yeah,
the way.
they're all the same person.
Yeah, so you have Ethan Hawke. Yeah.
Then you have Sarah Shook's character, or Snook's character.
Snook.
Yeah.
I think it's Snook.
And she is, at first, she's Jane, and then she turns into John.
Yeah.
And once she turns into John, that's when I said good aim, because that's when he stood up to go to the bathroom.
Which is, in all actuality, the same character.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, you this was just more so funny, but you say, can she get herself pregnant right before the reveal?
Well, I was trying to figure out like the birds and bees
It's
aspect.
like middle
to-
school sex ed class.
yeah.
This, I promise you, our
Apparently you
podcast. I promise you, our podcast won't be like this every
I know, I
episode
was
if
like,
you're
this is
listening.
probably
This is just that type of movie. That's just like, well,
yeah.
you can't not talk about this.
Yeah. Why'd you have to read that quote?
And then this one was Frankie's favorite, the Ching.
What?
The Ching.
Oh, the
I won't say
I was
what
gonna
else.
give you guys a second.
So in this movie, whoever the sound guy was, he had one job. His job, he loved the ching sound whenever and
cash
we'll
register.
insert the
They're
clip
in
right
the
here
bar.
when he goes to the bar and he's like walking up, bloop, 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 and he goes to the cash register and this guy went ham on the ching. He goes into the cash thing, and I tell you, if you close your eyes and listen to this, and we'll put the video right here, and he'll just go, and you just hear, like it's like the loudest noise you'll ever hear.
So is that it? Story's over?
Yeah, afraid so.
It was hilarious. I could not. They did it twice. I bet you they copy and pasted the same ching. Like, oh, Please, we got to insert that video. But it was so good.
I love how Frankie's like, we got to insert that video. And
When it's just me telling Luis later in post editing that he's
Luis,
gotta
just so
insert
you
the
know,
video.
you have work to do.
Cha-ching.
Okay, that's all I have written down. I'm cool with getting into final thoughts unless you guys have any thoughts.
No, I
we
think
do
we
that.
covered too much. I think we're gonna have to.
We promise this is just that type of movie. That's just kinda
Yeah.
like, okay, so final thoughts and maybe your thoughts on like, I don't know, how would you gauge this movie on the scale of good to bad, 1 to 5, thumbs up, thumbs down? What are your thoughts?
So we've been trying to watch this movie for months now because Luis has been hyping it up so much, and we finally gotten to watch it. And I could see the appeal of watching it multiple times because for any time traveling movie, you would see Easter eggs every time you watch it again and again. You see, oh, that's something new there, something new there. So I see that point, and for me, I think it's a good movie. I would probably on a scale of 1 to 5, probably like 3.5. 3.5 is generous.
That's very generous.
I'll probably go back to 3.
Considering your hesitation.
Yeah. Would I watch it again? Maybe. Would I recommend it to other people?
Your wife is
Maybe.
shaking her head no.
But I'm a fan of Ethan Hawke, so
Yeah.
he did a good job in this role, and
Yeah.
I think it was very creative. And for someone who enjoys storytelling and someone who enjoys time traveling and all the physics and all that stuff, they probably would like this movie.
I didn't have like a whether it was good or bad. I thought it was just like it was interesting. I would think I would definitely watch it again. I would recommend it to only certain people.
Yeah.
I would have to I wouldn't just go around like, have you seen Prometheus or what's the movie?
Predestination.
Predestination. I still don't even know the name of the movie. Have you seen Predestination?
Yeah.
Like I'm not just gonna like go around telling people that they should watch Predestination. Very select few people that I would give it to, but people that I would want to experience it with. I think that's more. I saw this movie as an experience. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't your typical movie that I would watch. I love mystery. So this movie kept me on my toes the whole time. I would give it like an 8. I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Like, yes, but this is the thing though. It kept me guessing and it made me feel things. Like that was one of the
Confusing
things that I was saying the whole time that I was on the couch. I was like, man, this thing's making me like it tears you in so many, like you feel disgusted at some points, but then you feel for her because she just wants love and to be loved, and she can only find love within herself, and it's like this whole thing, and it's just like you get torn in so many directions. Yeah, I think it was an 8 for me. Yeah, I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, but
Score says you.
but it was a ride.
Would you considering the hype I had for it, would you say it lived up to the hype, or what would you say?
Someone said it. It was like this is for a particular group of people. I don't know if you said it or Jeanette may have said it.
Jeanette.
Yeah. So it was like I can see why you appreciate it and why you love it and why it's in your top 10, but it's just not my like cup of tea. So
That's fair.
but I appreciate it. It was good.
You bought this movie.
I have it on Blu-ray.
You have it on Blu-ray.
I have it on Blu-ray and on Movies Anywhere.
Can you stream this anywhere? Can the listeners stream this anywhere?
No, this is like one of those. Honestly, I'm thinking like I don't know if the streaming services want this movie.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm like, where does it? It was on Netflix at one point. It
All right,
was on
listen,
Netflix,
people who
but-
made Predestination, you probably aren't on anything right now. We want the rights for Predestination. We will put it on our website. We will let people. More people would watch Predestination because of us than for your advertising. And the 3 theaters and the 10 people that went to go watch it.
It was 20.
Okay. Predestination. Let us have your movie.
All right. Yeah, that seems like about it for me. Obviously, you guys know my thoughts.
The viewers don't know your thoughts. Tell them your
No.
thoughts.
I mean, I spent the first chunk of the episode talking about it. If I had to number it, it would probably be like a 9 out of 10. But that's just because it has a. I love this movie.
Okay, question for you. This is what would you say is the 10th time you've seen it now?
It's been a lot. I say 10 because I don't know the number.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say it's 15. Let's say whatever that number is. What things stuck out to you this time around versus the other 11, 15 times that you're like, man, I didn't notice that last time?
I think for me, every time I just notice how much more they're in your face about the whole story, which is like they're the same person.
Yeah.
Like it's not that anything maybe stuck out to me more. It's that like you just see more of that fact. It's like from the bottle to the, you know, like and some of that stuff I had seen, but like the glasses and all that stuff, it's like little things you pick up and you're like, oh, it's right there, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, like at this point I've kind of beat this movie to the ground.
Yeah.
But for me, it's
just
not
becomes
about
more and more obvious, all these things.
Yeah. For me, it's like more so watching it with a group of people is so much fun.
Yeah. No, I see the appeal.
How many more times are you gonna watch it?
Whenever there's a person I want to mess with. All right, that seems about it. We're gonna wrap this up right now. Thank you for listening. If you've stayed till this long, that means you've seen the movie, and we're sorry. Stay tuned for future conversations. We're gonna be talking about more normal movies, maybe less controversial. Yeah, thank you for watching. I would like to say like and subscribe and all that, but I mean we're gonna be on YouTube, so smash that subscribe button. Just
Follow us on Instagram. We haven't created it yet, but we will have one by the time this video comes out.
Frankie just told me this. This is new information, but sure, yeah. Follow us at insert the
Yeah, it'll be right here.
not caption the tag the Instagram account.
yeah.
Obviously, we do Instagram a lot. So anyway, we'll see you guys later and catch us on our next episode.
Bye.
Daylight, say